Living in the Philippines as an American has definitely been an interesting experience. One that I will never forget for sure. It's been about 9.5 months since I came here from the US, and it's about time that I shared just how much I spend a month living here. Despite the rising prices, if you're from the West, I'm confident you'll find a pretty decent lifestyle. I'm pretty sure most of you watching this are Westerners, and you're wondering, how much does it cost to live in the Philippines monthly? Well, I'm going to tell you just how much I spend a month living in the Philippines. I'm pretty sure most of you are wondering, how much do I pay for rent? Well, I don't pay rent. Instead, I decided to buy my own condo. It was about $30,000 for a studio, about 26 square meter. But they usually rent those out, typically around 15K peso to 20K peso, $350 to $400, somewhere around there. So 15K to 20K peso a month, $350 to $400 a month.
Yeah, that's the range actually. That's the range. It might be lower, $70 lower, and might be a little bit higher, but that's the range actually.
Month for rent. That's about typical for a studio condo in Cebu.
For most of the places, most of it, yeah.
For the most part, I live in Lapu-Lapu City, so it's a bit cheaper than in the main Cebu city, but you're still gonna get around the same prices for a studio. Regarding visa extensions, I usually spend about 3,100 every 2 months. So that's just about 1,600 peso per month if you were to do it monthly. But I usually go for a 2-month extension just so I don't have to go
That's about it. That's about it actually. Yeah.
back and forth all the time. The visa extension process is pretty easy. You just go into the immigration office, fill out a little bit of paperwork, sit down for a minute, pay your money. It goes really smoothly and it's a very easy process. There's some anime stuff over here. Some might be real, some might be fake, but it's cool. Right now we're in a more upscale area, so we spend about like $1 on the 2 cake pops, and then for these drinks we spend about like $3, so just about $4 in total. Not too bad. This is where things get interesting. You guys thought LA traffic was bad? Nah, you tripping. If you don't buy your own vehicle, you're gonna be taking public transportation. You're gonna be riding these vehicles called trikes. If you ride them public, it'll cost you about under $1 to get to where you need to go. If you take a private one, it'll go to around $3 to $4, depending on your destination. Or you can take a taxi if that's your preference. Just no traffic's gonna be even worse. Grocery shopping in the Philippines is rather simple. You can either get it at the grocery store or mall, or you can go to a public market for much cheaper. Though the majority of the time, I get my groceries at grocery stores because that's what I'm accustomed to. But here and there, I will go to a public market, grab a few items that I didn't grab while shopping prior. And you can get a crap load of food for just under $60 a week. There's a really cheap gym just around the corner from my condo, about a 7-minute walk. I only spend 700 peso a month at this place, which is roughly about $12 to $13. Come on now, you can't beat that. You got a boxing area over here. It's a pretty nice room.
Prices of the gym, he said, is almost similar. Yeah, it's similar in Makati. I'm talking about our place is on Manila, but it's not in the main, like a little bit far from the center. But that's about it actually. Here too.
Shop. You got beautiful women right here. This entire meal cost about $20. Not too bad. Then again, we're eating Japanese food, so it only makes sense. Oh shit, no, my chopstick. Yeah, $20 for some Japanese food, not bad. Alright, eating out isn't always that expensive. You're not always gonna throw down $20 per meal, especially if you're solo. You can always get some local, Filipino street food, and some other shops nearby.
$20 for one meal. That's actually very high here.
They have some pretty good food, but you're gonna be spending more if you want to go to the restaurants and all that kind of stuff. Always budget for some fun. I didn't just come to this country to sit around and do nothing. I want to explore and see what this country has to offer as well. I usually spend around maybe $100 a month if I want to travel or go somewhere or just have some fun nearby. Though not everything costs money.
If $100 traveling, that would he meant going somewhere close to where he lives. If you're going to take plane and going somewhere far, it's gonna be higher. Yeah.
In terms of my condo expenses, because I don't pay rent, but I do pay the condo bill, the condo dues, which is about 3,700 peso a month, which is roughly about $60 to $70 a month. Every month, I'm basically spending about 1,600 pesos on my visa extension, which is roughly about $30. And then after that, you got the transportation. I would say 4,000 peso a month, which is roughly anywhere from 70 to 80 US dollars. So next is groceries. I spend about 2,700 a week. Times 4, that's almost 11,000 peso, which is roughly $200. And then when it comes to eating out, I would say budget around $200 a month because that's about as much as we spend.
For the grocery, he didn't mention whether it is only for him or for his girlfriend too. But I feel like it's half of that. It can be for him. It can be actually for one person. Yeah.
I would say we spend about 11,000 pesos a month on just eating out and fast food. Just because I'm gonna blame one thing, and that's Food Panda. It's basically the DoorDash, the Grubhub of the Philippines. And yeah, there's gonna be times where you're gonna be eating out a lot. Just because if you're a Westerner or foreigner, you can most likely afford this. Not really much of a problem. Like for one person, you might be able to spend like $5-6 for one meal, and then for you and your partner, you might spend $10, $8 to $10 every order, which isn't too bad. But yeah, this is the culprit for eating out right here. Like we might go out to eat maybe like 2-3 times a month in a restaurant setting, but yeah, this is what takes all the money away. And for the gym, I spend around 700 peso a month, which is roughly about 12 to 13 US dollars. Not bad. And lastly on the list is healthcare. You always want to set a little bit of money aside just in case anything happens. Right now my girl's pregnant, so we spend around $60 a month for a visit to the doctor, a few times a month. And I would say that's pretty good. $700, you can't beat that. So that's all I have to say. I spend $700 a month living in the Philippines. I've heard some people spending $500 a month, and some.
That's actually reasonable. Actually, that's the range. Actually, might be a little bit lower. It might be a little bit higher, but that's the range. But and also depends where you live. Yeah.
People going as far as to spend 2,000 a month, and I'm perfectly fine with 700 a month. 700, 800 a month. I get my needs met, get my food, my groceries. I have some extra to travel and do what I want to do. Have some fun. $700, easy.